Guys. Okay, so bear with me. I thought this was sort of important enough for me to uh, do an article on. Uh, okay, so we have the report which I got earlier this afternoon. I hang on a minute. Okay. Let me see if I can stop this. I have no idea how my search on King Charles having cancer has anything to do with the puke ass shithead from Montecito, California, but apparently it does. Because Meghan and her PR staff, have these searches so wrapped up. And it kind of pisses me off. Now, I'm going to read this article and I'm going to talk a little bit more. Plus, we have Kate having abdominal surgery, but we don't know what that entailed or why. Now, I've actually had two different abdominal surgeries. I know I'm a basket case, right? The last was in 2000. Now, they almost had to do something on me again after my accident because I was bleeding internally. And it was so horrible because this doctor kept coming in and everybody kept looking at me like, oh my God, is she going to make it? I just really hated that feeling. And I kept telling her, basically, no, there's nothing wrong with me. I dealt that because I didn't have any pain there. I don't know if that makes sense. I just knew that I wouldn't need that surgery. But the second time I had it, I was hospitalized for 2 weeks and it was very intense, very painful. And, I had an NG tube down me the entire time. And it was, I think they pulled it maybe 2 days before I left. But that is considered a long hospitalization now. So imagine my 4 months that I just had. I just kept, mentally, you just want things to go away, but they just don't. Huh. All right. So we've got King Charles diagnosed with cancer less than 15 months after taking office. Now, I don't know what, I think it would be helpful if we knew exactly, what is it? Blood cancer? Is it a carcinoma? Is it a tumor? What is it? Now I'm going to go ahead and, cancer treatments right now are very the treatments have progressed, and in many cases, if it's caught on time, which I assume this was, they really don't have, they don't, I don't want to say they don't have an effect on someone's life, because of course they do, but it doesn't really change much once you can find the right treatment. And so I'm going to read this article. Okay. Charles has been diagnosed with cancer. Okay, we just said that. During the King's recent hospital procedure for benign prostate enlargement, which is very common, a separate issue of concern was noted. Subsequent diagnostic tests have identified a form of cancer. Are we that far back in the Middle Ages that we can't talk about what exactly these conditions are? Because it would, both apparently Charles and Catherine speak about how they're trying to reach out, how they're trying to do charity. And just to say cancer, it could be skin cancer, for fuck's sake, which, okay, and I'm not trying to diminish that. I'm not trying to diminish this, but just tell us what you have. Because believe me, if it was Donald Trump, Yeah, they'd have a proctologist go in there and stick a tube up his anus just to find out. I'm just being facetious. Um, and then we have, okay, and the whole thing is kind of weird because this just happened to our um, Secretary of Defense or whatever, whoever the fuck that guy is. I don't know. I just, this country is already like pretty much gone. And a lot of people believe that he was actually killed in action and out in Ukraine, but that's a whole nother spiel. So it's funny how this, and he just went in for routine prostate treatment also. What they do is they go in there and they try to open up the openings so you can pee. I don't know how else to put it. Okay. His Majesty has commenced a schedule of regular treatments, during which time he has been advised by doctors to postpone public-facing duties. Hang on a second. So he just needs to get some rest. Or maybe it's his personal choice. I don't know. Because they're not being very transparent here. Throughout this period, His Majesty will continue to undertake state business and official paperwork as usual. The shocking development, it's not really that shocking these days, though, is it? I'm not trying to diminish it again. The shocking development comes just a week after the 75-year-old king was discharged from the hospital following the treatment for an enlarged prostate, which is so common. And basically, I mean, God knows what they could have been doing, just like anything, and it popped up in the blood work because it can pop up really fast. Officials did not disclose with which specific form of cancer was diagnosed, but Buckingham Palace has clarified it is not prostate cancer. The king is grateful to his medical team that made his stay pleasant, and I'm skipping. Okay. He remains wholly positive about his treatment and looks forward to returning to full public duty as soon as possible. He has chosen to share his diagnosis to prevent speculation in the hope it may assist public understanding. Well, he hasn't chosen to share it, though. I mean, I think it was pretty well known that George, his grandfather, had lung cancer. Why don't you tell us what it is? Because treatments out there right now for a lot of these things are extremely advanced. That's a whole nother thing. And I think the Queen had multiple myeloma, but that's just me. I really do, based on what I saw and what I read and what I heard from when I was listening to a couple of Lady C videos back then. The dogs and all the music and all the crap is just too much for me. I can't cope with her. P.S. By the way, did Harry and Meghan get the divorce she was talking about a year ago? I mean, this is just, you wonder after a while, right? He remains positive. He's probably getting some sort of a monoclonal antibody treatment. And that, I mean, honestly, my dad was on that. It was like magic. I don't know if that killed him or if it was just a sudden heart attack, or if, I don't know. My mom is on one right now. And she's way up there. And it's just, you can be like the Queen Elizabeth, close to 100 years old, and you're going to end up, usually you don't even end up dying because of the cancer. You end up dying because of pretty much just old age at that point. Because my mom is in her early 90s. I mean, you'd think after 4 years of treatment, would things be getting worse? No, so it's kind of like, it's usually some sort of inflammatory condition, usually some sort of pneumonia type condition that ends up taking most patients anyway, at the end of the day, that have I know I'm going on, but let's keep going here. And my closest friend right now, her father was recently diagnosed with cancer of the head and neck, which is different. It's a tumor cancer, and he's got to have radiation. That's very serious, and it does make you feel like shit. But based on what I'm reading, I don't think that that's what's going to happen to him, because you would noticeably lose a lot of weight and feel like shit. And it, like I said, the treatments vary from cancer. I mean, there's so many different kinds of cancer right now, and it's just like everywhere you look, it's being popped up. On the other hand, you have Catherine, with what I'm thinking is a very serious intestinal issue. Now, let's talk about this. Let me finish going through this. What kind of kills me is that I just read this really boring article that gave me zero info, and then they recap it. Oh, and then they make it about Harry. His estranged son will soon be traveling to the UK. Like, isn't he there yet? If I had a parent that was sick, I mean, boom. I mean, I was in their face so freaking fast, it wasn't even funny, I don't think a lot of times people don't want to be bothered too. Maybe they just need time to rest and collect their thoughts. That's called being a normal human being. I'm like that really a lot. That's the kind of person I am. My dad was like that. Some people just always need someone around them. I don't know. So Harry has not spoken to William. So the King of England's cancer suddenly becomes about Prince Harry and William not speaking to each other. The shocking news could force the estranged siblings into an uneasy truce. I don't think so. After my sister died, I believe both of my parents went into a very fast health decline. Like, boom, just like that. Noticeable, fast. And I think that stress, and I've talked about this, my mother-in-law had very serious cancerous tumors that, she died ultimately of, she couldn't get air because the tumor had grown so big, and there was nothing more they could do. After years of treatment, it finally got to the point where it just wasn't helping anymore, and that was it. Now, it was thought that a lot of that was brought on by stress due to her personal life, because she had been battling with it for a very, very long period of time. Dozens or decades. Okay. And it, like I said, it varies from person to person. I know Charles leads a very organic diet, and which I try to do the same myself. I have not put, except for, I'm hooked on this damn cappuccino. I might have to do a part 2, you guys. And it has sugar in it. And I like the stuff with the sugar as opposed to the sugar-free, because whatever. So I'm hooked on having 2 big mugs of that a day. That's like the biggest thing I do wrong for my body. But he's got all this organic, he eats the most pure, pristine shit, food out there, as far as any meat, poultry, everything. I'm sure I mean, he's a very uppity dude. I'm sure his pasta is made from organic wheat, and vegetables and stuff like that. And I am hoping and thinking that if I continue with my diet, I can't exercise right now. Well, I could, do upper body, but I've always whatever. You hope that by taking care of yourself, you avoid shit like this. But in this day and age, I'm not sure. So is it going to force them into an uneasy truce? No. William, is it all of a sudden William not going to be pissed off at that little prick? Doubtful. Oh, Joe Biden reacted. Fuck you. Joe Biden can't even stay awake long enough to do a state dinner. Ugh, don't even get me going on that again. Trump and the Queen were getting along great. It was clearly a mutual admiration society, right? Is that how they say it? I'm concerned, Biden said. Just heard it. I'll be talking to him, God willing. Yeah, if you don't croak first, you old fart. 2 brain surgeries that guy's had. Why is that even important? Because we basically he got diagnosed. You don't know what it was. And will it or will it not? I'm what a load of shit this article was. Now, we've got Catherine. Let's see. And then we've got Catherine. Abdominal surgery. Okay. And we've got this, and it's fine. We'll get there. Now she's in the hospital also. Now I thought that, or it was my thinking that we were told that they were doing Zoom calls together with the kids while they were making dinner or some shit. This poor girl, before I had my first surgery, I was almost as thin as her. Now she was a lot thinner, but worked out a lot, very muscular. And she's having surgery, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you, a very, very painful surgery at that. Let's see. She's in the hospital. Okay. And so she's not going to be seen for 4 months. God knows what's happening to her. I feel really bad. Probably her colon is probably tied up in knots because of fucking Meghan. Excuse me. I do feel bad, but we're not getting any information as to what's going on, and it would be really helpful. And why is it so secretive? And is it just me? All right, so okay, so Skank isn't going. Why? Why don't we put the word why in front of it? Prince Harry's hopes of returning to the UK may hit a roadblock, as his wife has reportedly ruled out ever coming back because she never had 2 children that are in the line of succession. Okay? Or I'm thinking of succession. I'm not secession. I'm sorry. They might as well be seceded since they're not even living. Can you imagine pulling that big of a shit on someone and then they actually put you, they put 2 fake babies that are not born out of her body, out of her egg and his sperm. Don't talk to me about a surrogate. There is no way that would happen. and for many different reasons. I mean, you have to honestly take a look at it. And who she is, who he is, okay? Her general sluttiness. I do believe that she was like a honeypot, like involved in intelligence, CIA, MI6, Mossad, those three areas, and they all work together. And Five Eyes and all that shit, you know, the FV stuff. It's all there. You know, how could just a know nothing chick with a couple of episodes on a shitty TV station actually belong to this Soho House thing, which is pretty exclusive? I don't believe that Meghan ever really was all that. You know, that I don't believe she ever really had much talent and or I just can't imagine with what I know about her that she just doesn't seem that smart, even though everyone, oh, she's so smart. Is she? She's deviant because she fooled an entire kingdom and totally fucked them over. Now, I wanted to say another thing. A lot of people on conservative media, or I had seen this before, are now speculating that William, especially a show I was listening today that it's getting so bad. I don't think I can listen to it anymore. It's just such bullshit. And it's very not anything you guys would know, which is very disheartening for me because he used to be my go-to guy for that and PK Truth. You know, sometimes, you know, you get stuck on a subject and in a little certain period of time. And, you know, then it just things fizzle out because things fizzled out with Markle. That's why I really don't talk about her. She's of really no interest. She's not an interesting person or topic. You can talk about her bunions from here till, you know, for the remainder of 2020s and make fun of her toes. But God forbid you say, yes, she was fat, Markle. Now I believe she's taking that drug, that diabetes drug. At first I did not because she doesn't look healthy, you know. She's not a healthy, attractive looking gal, you know. And your weight is going to go up and down, especially if you've had all these babies in your 40s, right? Right. Meghan won't join Harry when he goes to visit, what's his name? The king. Why? She's remaining to take care of the two kids that don't exist. Is this killer or what, you guys? Are we going to see a black and white picture from 5 years ago now? Oh, I was going to say a lot of people in the conservative media here are thinking Charles will stand down and William will take over. Well, without knowing that his wife right now is ill. I mean, she's ill. It could be that she had maybe some sort of Crohn's disease or something like that, which explains her weight. I'm just saying it could be like some sort of an intestinal disorder where they had to remove part of it. That's very possible. But whatever the case may be, I had it, surgery twice, a very painful recovery. What I'm going through now is like 100 times worse, but in a different way. Because I have I can just feel my pubic bone, my hip, and my iliac crest. I can feel exactly where all the breaks are right now. It's just driving me crazy. I took 4 Aleve tablets tonight, and that's helped, otherwise I wouldn't even be doing this damn video. But yeah, we'll leave it there. I mean, it's just really, that's just weird. That's just, but the abdomen, yeah, it's very painful. And I think that basically Meghan has been told not to come. She's not welcome in the United Kingdom. People don't like her. I guess a few people do, but for the, and for the most part, she's just not this likable character. Prince Harry is a dork. I don't know. I think he wears lifts in his shoes. Oh, I mean, here he did for sure. I don't even think he's 6 feet anyway. It's the same shit all over again. Harry's believed to have arrived in Los Angeles in LAX in the early hours of this morning to catch his flight. He's due to board a plane. You know what I'm saying? You're not really getting the info. Now, if we go on social, should we go on social media? It's so boring, isn't it? Yeah, I'm doing social media stuff, so, sorry if you don't like it. Okay. It's all out in the public domain, as they say. The Olive Branch BS. A source close to Harry said he immediately decided to come to the UK as soon as possible. Does he care about his dad? My answer is no. He still views him as a figure that destroyed his life. Period. He's still I don't think his brain has totally changed. I don't understand why Meghan isn't going with him. Who's going to manipulate him? Well, I just don't think she's welcome. Here, let's do this. Let's go Prince Harry. I don't use his Twitter account very often, so. If traitorous manipulation, lying, and deceit had a face, isn't he gross? And he looks just like Charles, too, doesn't he? Latest. Let's do that. 19 seconds ago, Reuters, the monarch told his immediate family personally about his cancer diagnosis, and Harry, his younger son, will travel to the UK to see him in the coming days. Well, you'd think Reuters would know if he arrived at LAX yet. He's wearing lifts for sure. Breathing Wild, 19 seconds ago. Harry and Sparkles are awful beings. They create, enable, and support hate against their own families. I think she looks so ugly right there. Those glasses do not suit her. You know what I'm saying? Her face yeah. So here's the deal. What if, my heart's just going out to Catherine right now. But what if Charles would stand down? You know what I'm saying? It would drive her absolutely effing nuts. She'd be just going crazy right now. She'd be getting on her dartboard, snorting her lines of coke, getting her vodka out. Although, now, we're told she's just holier than thou. She's cleaned up her profile so much. So these two must be kept well away from, they must be kept well away from the king because of security concerns. basic security. Even Harry. I wouldn't even put it past him to do something to his dad. I just wouldn't. I think that